Welcome back to another episode of the Jackrabbit Illustrated Podcast. We're excited to have you join us today. Before we dive in, we'd like to thank our sponsors who help make this all possible. First off, a great big thank you to our title sponsor again for 2024, the Kubota dealers of South Dakota. Whether it's tractors, mowers, utility vehicles, construction, or farm equipment, Kubota's got you covered. With 9 convenient locations across the state of South Dakota and 1 in northwest Iowa, there's always a Kubota dealer nearby. Stop by your local Kubota dealer and see all they have to offer. All A-Team shows are sponsored this year by Culver's of Brookings and Watertown, home of the Butterburger, fried cheese curds, signature root beer, and world-famous custard. Culver's, welcome to Delicious. Next, we would like to recognize the support of our other A-Team podcast sponsors. Cubby Sports Bar and Grill, the best sports bar in South Dakota and home to the Jimmy Rogers Radio Show. Northwestern Mutual Wealth Management, see them for all your retirement and life insurance needs. And the Jackrabbit Former Players Association. And now, here is the A-Team.
And we are back for another Victory Sunday, the 4th one in a row. So it's nice to be reeling off some wins. Chad, how the heck are you, buddy?
I'm doing well. Had a nice little Sunday, and can't complain.
Right.
We had a good weekend.
All right, and you're rocking the Mason McCormick jersey again.
Yes, sir.
Big win. Mason was getting chippy out there again today. So that was good to see.
Which is always fun.
Yeah.
He's still the same Mason.
Right? Did he dance again this week? He's been dancing a lot this season. So.
I didn't see. He did a little of this, but arm dance. But
yeah, everyone's been doing that. The Prezi dance. Yeah.
No, he didn't do that one. He just did some. Oh, that wasn't meant to be that dance. Sorry.
Maybe he was trying to do that, but you never know.
Not the impression I got, but anyway.
All right, fair enough. Jake, how are you? Welcome back.
Good. Yeah, good to be back. I missed a couple of weeks there. I think I've realized that, this has been a lot of fun doing this pod, but I already have too many hobbies. And then I add this, you try to golf, you hunt, you fish, you do all those things. And then balancing that with the wife and the kids to try to add another hobby. It's I was talking to a buddy and he's like, man, you either got to pick hunting or pick golf. You can't do it all. But I've been trying.
Someone told me you need one hobby per season. So
yeah,
I mean, like you do some pheasant hunting, but I mean, this is like a Sunday night deal. So you need a Sunday night hobby, and this is a Sunday night hobby. So
yeah, the 2-year-old keeps me busy for that.
Perfect. Dallas, the planes, trains, and automobiles. Your weekend, traveling all over the state of Minnesota. How are you?
Yes, I am good. I'm happy to be home. Plenty of yard work today. Thankfully, my wife does honestly most of the yard work. She mows and rakes and does all that kind of stuff because I don't really like it and she enjoys it. But had to get everything put away for the winter and all that. But no, had a great day yesterday. Watched all 3 of my kids compete in things on the same day, which has never happened before. So it was cool. And saw my daughter run her last collegiate race, and I tried not to melt into a puddle, standing there on the home stretch, remembering, 4th grade dance recital or 4-year-old dance recitals and that kind of stuff. But good weekend.
Yeah. Dallas,
dad right there.
Yeah, look at you. Do you know what would help Nikki with yard work besides you?
Other than me, I'm guessing some equipment from a Kubota dealer of South Dakota.
Yeah, I mean, she could get a mower for your guys' yard and enjoy doing the yard work that much more. Whether it is she needs to make those tight turns and get that lawn, perfectly cut, or to mulch up the leaves at the end of the season, or if you want to buy a little tiller so she can till up the flower beds in the gardens, whatever it may be. Kubota would have the mower, the tractor, and the implements to get that yard work done for her. And you wouldn't have to do it. And she'd be super happy and enjoy it that much more. So think about it, Dallas. And we have a bunch in the South Dakota Kubota network right there. John Colley, Kubota Country. There you go, Dallas.
Yeah,
so
that's a hell of an idea. I think my Christmas list is set.
Well, it's not for you. It's for her, Dallas.
No, that's what I'm saying. Well, okay, so stereotypical. I am terrible at buying gifts. My wife does a great job at it. Essentially, my job is to buy one gift whatever I'm gonna get for her, and then she takes care of the rest. So that's what I meant is my list. Like that's all I gotta buy.
Perfect.
You ever see those commercials where the wives go out in the driveway? Just think if you had a brand new Kubota skid steer with a red bow on
I don't know what a skid steer.
She'd be like,
we'll do the
she would be surprised. There's no doubt.
What's the Christmas Vacation line? I wouldn't be more surprised if I woke up with my head sewn to the carpet.
Yeah. Awesome. So again, thank you, Kubota, for your sponsorship. Picked up some more parts. I'm ready to go for this winter. Got my shear pins. I'm good. So, all right. Next up, we got to thank Culver's. Culver's of Brookings and Watertown. We know them. We love them. We stopped there after the game on Saturday. It was delicious. Got my double butterburger with cheese, my crinkled fries. That's all I need. You know, I'm a simple man. Just a cheeseburger and fries, and that makes me happy. But if you like chicken strips, if you like that custard, if you like a nice salad, if you're like, who's our guest that liked the chili, right? Like,
Wasn't that our announcer?
Yeah, that was their announcer. Yep. So whatever it is, like Culver's of Brookings and Watertown has the best service and the best food for when you're on the go and got to get moving. So thank you, Culver's of Brookings and Watertown, for your support. All right, let's get into the game. Right. Actually, Chad, do you have some music for us here before we get too far into this?
I do have music. You just had to say
really suck. Yes, the Bears still suck. Everybody now. The Bears still suck. The Bears still suck. The Bears still suck. The Bears still suck. They really suck. Still suck.
Yes. So hopefully Ray's listening. Ray and Deb, that was for you. Go Pat, go. So
and this next week we play who?
We play the Bears, who proved they are who we thought they were. So
what is this weed crap? You guys are I disapprove of you taking over this podcast, even though it's yours, Matt, for this Packer
it's for the Missouri State Bears.
I'm sorry.
It's for both. It's a double meeting here. So
I thought this was all propaganda. I thought it was all propaganda. My bad.
Yeah, you're killing me, Smalls. Yes. There we go. I knew they were there. Perfect.
There it is. Yeah.
Hey, we had some Chicago food at the tailgate. It was good. The tailgate went really well. Coach Stig stopped over, sat around and chopped it up with us for, I don't know, half an hour or so, I'd say.
Yeah, that was good. What did he ask? He said, "What's going to happen today?" Like, you're the one that always tells me what I did wrong. And I said, "No, I didn't." And he's like, "No, that was the 10,000 people at church or something like that."
Yeah. He said something along those lines. Matt's the guy who's always told me what I did wrong. I was like, I'm pretty sure Matt's never done that. He's like, well, then there's the other 10,000 people behind me. And I was like, okay, well, that's fair. That's fair.
All right. So, Jake, seeing how we haven't seen you in a while, what are your impressions of the game from this weekend?
Yeah, no, a win. Obviously, W is always a good thing. That's the goal. I would say offense and defense team, offense and defensive side of the ball every week is to get that W. And I think they're starting to see some of that maturity come together. I mean, that's the one thing I'd say. And you heard a little bit from the team and from Coach Rogers after the game, you know, just the capacity to play as one unit, whether it's the whole defense or whether it's the front four, you know, the offensive line. I think that was one thing that, you know, we've talked about a lot. And I know I've missed a couple conversations, but I'm sure the theme early in the year was, you know, you got some maturity opportunities to come in. And that's where we've seen, I'd say, like, especially the D-line. I mean, they're just gelling as one group. I mean, they're not looking at one guy doing something. It's four guys kind of doing their job as a unit. And so I think that's this time of year, as you get to the last game of the season, prepping for playoffs, it's a grind, man. And it's that time where, like, those guys doing that is a good thing, where we're still seeing that uphill climb. Like, we haven't peaked, we haven't gone down. We're seeing an uphill climb. And offensively, I'd say the same thing. You know, we We obviously were a little sluggish in the first quarter, nothing too special, but recognizing that I still think we get every other team's best every week. I mean, they're scheming the hell out of us. You could tell that in that first quarter. They were running left, right, every direction at us. I mean, they were throwing stuff at us like crazy. But I think, again, the offense coming together and just starting to rack up points in the second, third quarter. Fun to see. I mean, there's just a lot of energy there, and same thing, that offense starting to gel. And I think our coaches piecing that together too, compliments in that regard. So lots of good things. I mean, like I said, it'd be one thing if we've peaked and we're starting to plummet down or something like that, but I still think we're seeing this uphill climb, which, you know, there's 4 or 5 games left, hopefully. And that's good. So.
All right. Let's pull up Zach. I got Zach Larson's comment here, Chad. And I agree, Jake. The peak was, this team is really hitting its stride. And we'll get into some more of the minutia of this game. But let's start with senior day here. Yes, Zach, Caleb Francel's coming back. We kind of knew that one. We knew him. We knew Kobe Humphrey was coming back. Jalen Lee is listed as a senior. One that surprised me that I was not expecting to be back was Max Balloon. I thought he was out of eligibility. I don't know how I missed that. So that's huge, getting him back on the interior.
Is that not on the spreadsheet?
What do you mean?
I
My spreadsheet? That I had?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I don't think I had him on my spreadsheet.
Jake got it. Thanks for
I
having my back.
I wanted to make a comment about the spreadsheet. I was like, come on, how'd you miss that on the spreadsheet? But
I'm disappointed in myself.
I'm glad
guys.
Chad did.
What do you hear?
So for people other than the 4 of us, what we're referring to is Matt has a spreadsheet where he was already tracking and projecting next year's potential.
Do we have to share this? This is
Well,
embarrassing.
it already came up.
Why is it embarrassing?
We're proud of you. We're proud of you.
Awful podcasting. If we just sit and talk about it, nobody has a clue. And just because you have a disorder where you need to project the roster for years,
He's only done. He's done it for many years. It's nothing.
I know.
He's good
All right.
at it. That's what makes him the Podfather. It's what we love about
It's a
it.
compliment, Matt. We're
Great
complimenting.
roster
Right.
awareness. Yes.
So obviously Jalen Lee, offensive line, he's listed as a senior. He's coming back. That's a good one for sure. But then the other one just really surprised me, Max Balloon and Marcus Preston. And I'm guessing Marcus Preston may get a medical for last fall. I don't think he played in enough games. So that's the only one I could see is probably. But Max Balloon, that's huge because again, with Levi Vandenbos choosing to graduate early, that's probably going to allow Kobe Claiborne to stay at defensive end next year, right? Instead of having to shift inside. So you're looking at Max Balloon and Bryce Hawthorne probably on the interior next year.
Yes.
But whatever.
Well, Kobe's been kind of rotating inside on and off from what I can recall. But
Yep.
yeah, that dude's pretty versatile.
He's fun. He's so fun to watch. My buddy. So I have a buddy, Mike Wagner. Shout out Mike if you're listening in your squad car. He hasn't been to a game since the new stadium was built. So just one of those friends that maybe came to Hobo Day back in the day, wasn't an SDSU alum, anything like that. They had such a good time. And he said, I'm coming back to more games in the future. But anyways, he picked out Kobe Claiborne. And he's like, who is that
Nice.
guy? And he's so short, but he's like so disruptive, I think his exact quote. He's like, yeah, that basically sums up Kobe Claiborne. Like just incredible motor, hustle, and like thighs the size of like, I don't know, sycamores or whatever. Like huge.
I love watching that kid play. He's just an energy bus.
Yes. If you need one more reason to like him, did you listen to the post game presser? He's so good on the mic.
Yeah.
he is.
So
Yeah, he is.
if Kobe, if you listen to this and you don't get into broadcasting, which I think you could do, whenever you're ready, you have an open spot with Jackrabbit Illustrated because he was talented and entertaining and well spoken, and it was good.
Agreed, 100%. So Blake Peterson, getting some questions on Blake. It sounds like he's done. Like it's just his body's done, folks. Like, you know, he gave it his all and stuff and played 3 or 4 years at Iowa State. tried for 2 years with us and just keeps breaking down. And that's the crappy part of this game, right? For a lot of folks is the game decides when you're done, right? A lot of times, unfortunately. So, yeah. So good luck to Blake, whatever he's going to do, if it's going back and farming down by Beersford or whatever's next for him. So good luck. Tailgating scene. We talked about that a little bit. Tailgating was pretty good, Chad, I think by the library lot for sure.
Yeah.
Backyard was a little sparse.
I was a little upset by the fact that the center of that lot is still really empty on these games. I think we need to come up with a new solution next year. I wish that the university would reach out to us for some ideas, because we have some. People have stated as much as they'd be willing to pay for a reserved spot on that outer ring, and then, you know, whatever, if you're just regular Jackrabbit Club, then you can get in the center, or $20 to park there, or whatever. Just some ideas. I heard 2-3 different people telling me different ideas about it this weekend, so it was a topic of discussion.
Agreed. Yeah.
I mean, definitely the backyard. I'd comment on that too. We got there a little late. My parents were in town this weekend, so they came with. We kept the kids at home with a babysitter, and nice to bring them to a game. Turned out to be a lot nicer than we thought, so it was good for my mom to stay around longer than she planned. But you know, we showed up probably with an hour left. The tailgate was all, so we weren't there long. But I was just kind of surprised at how slow the backyard was. And I think as we get into, of course, a couple home playoff games, hopefully here, you know, that's a challenge to people. Like, we got to get creative, have some fun with it. You know, really figure out a way to get people excited for that, especially the games. Get people to the games. I mean, we've said that for years, especially in the cold weather. So,
yeah, agreed. Met Pat. So Pat's awesome. He's from Michigan, so you introduced him to Brendan. So that was kind of cool. But yeah, just got to meet Pat and appreciate all of Pat's interaction with us this year. Train.
Yeah.
With you guys. Yep. There we go.
Heard it. Yeah.
So, all right, Dallas, any thoughts? Did you get to watch at all? Did you watch the replay?
I didn't, honestly. I watched almost zero football, but I did go back. I watched just the highlight replay. I listened to, call it the middle third of the game, right about, and then post-game press conference. So no, I don't. I wanted a couple things that Jake brought up that I wanted to comment on. Mention the defensive line playing together. Yes, and that's another thing that Kobe talked about post-game in the press conference is you know, rushing is one, playing the run is one, and then, like we talk about all the time, you know, essentially their job is to make sure that linebackers run free, and we can see that. So really happy with them. I know Jimmy brought up just being happy that not only do we, you know, are we getting better each week and peaking at the right time, if you want to call it that, but also getting healthy at the right time. I mean, you know, that's kind of the reverse of what you typically see in a season, and definitely the reverse of what we saw in Southern Illinois. My goodness. If anybody wants to play quarterback for them this week, they'll probably get you in a class and get you enrolled quick. And you know, just, I don't know, seeing that come together. And then I'm blanking on the other one. I thought I'd keep talking. Jake, you'd brought up, it was defensive line, and then I'm sorry, it'll come back to me. But, you know, I'm also pumped to talk about Amar a little bit here. I'm sure we'll get into that as we get a little bit further in the game, because, man, did he run well. And
so Jake talked about the 605 Hogs gelling.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, yep, 6L. Yeah, just depth there in the ability to plug and play. And again, another game where not only are we staying healthy and not getting beat up, we're able to get guys valuable reps, guys that are now going to get hopefully an extra 5-6 weeks worth of practice, you know, going all the way to the natty, and just being prepared and feeling confident that you can plug in. So no, there's a lot of positivity, a lot to feel good about.
Yeah. And with the Senior Bowl, or not the Senior Bowl, the senior day, as well as the injury stuff, and seeing the lack of depth that Southern Illinois had, I really want to harp on this point from Rants and Raves. Just the fact that, like, guys like Dayton McGoy chose to stay around, and Ethan Vibert And who was the other one I called out? But just there's so many of them that easily could go somewhere else and
Was it
have
one of
been
the
multi-year starters,
Yep.
right? Yeah, Durant's. In the FCS, anywhere else really, and that they chose to stay and be part of this team and be ready when their number is called. If Graham Spalding gets dinged up or Caleb Fransley gets dinged up, like Dayton McGoy can play either spot. Like what a luxury that is. Matt Durant's Tucker was hurt, so he played that safety position, and now Kirby Herter is hurt, and so he steps in and he just keeps making plays. Like way to be ready when your number's called. And again, Joe Ullman stepping in. Like he probably wasn't planning on getting in until the third quarter. Like he was probably standing on the sidelines with the rest of the younger linebackers, just watching the game, whatever you guys do on the sidelines. And next thing he knows, he's immediately in the game and making tackles. So way to be ready, man, on that. Joe Ullman, 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, and that was really fluky how that happened. It did appear when I went on the rewatch that the reason Bach kind of did that is because he was pulling back from smacking the crap out of the quarterback. He'd have been better off to put his shoulder in him and just drive him to the ground and get a 15-yarder and a warning for a personal foul. But he was holding up, and so he brought his head up, and yeah, it happened. I mean, that was the correct call. There is no question about it. I didn't see it, so I didn't really argue with it. The step out of bounds, I was hoping we'd get a replay, but in rewatching that, it was pretty obvious. He stepped 1 foot out, like,
Yep.
and they didn't need a replay.
Yeah,
So,
letter of
yes,
the law.
Brendan.
It was right. So
Yeah,
both
no,
of them.
definitely. Yeah.
And initially with Bach's hit, I was like, it's not Bach's fault. He's like 5'8". That's what you get for playing a 5'8" quarterback. But
He probably
again,
missed
watching
a half.
that-
He would have got pulled early anyways. He probably only missed a half.
Yeah, right.
The thing I'd say too that's again, I've preached on this too much, but I think it is so important, especially this time of year, to consider is just the culture of that team, what the coaching staff does, and I think that's a carryover from Coach Stig into now, and like just the quality of our young coaches. Like I think sometimes that again, had a couple new guys this year offensively. We talked about them gelling and stuff, but I think you look at like even our defensive staff, Bobbitt and Bibbs. You get over to the offensive staff, Coach Rouse and Chris Myers and some of those guys, Kyle Sadler. There's just some good young coaches that, they're excited, they're energetic. We were standing on the northwest side of the stadium at halftime, and Coach Bobbitt and 2 of the other guys were running back from the locker room, going back up to the press box. And I mean, they were slapping us on the back, just pumped. I'm like, you guys are up by 30, but they're excited this late in the year, still energetic, still engaged, still like just pumped to just coach football. And I think that's the thing that, that culture of that team, we talk about their ability to rotate 2, 3, 4 deep guys, start to gel at this time of year. I think it's a good culture in that locker room, probably, that starts with that coaching staff. And that's, again, Coach Rogers, commend him in that, but that's a really neat thing that I think we got to look into going into this time of year.
Yeah. Did you, speaking of the coach's energy, did you see that video I posted of the entrance from 2 weeks ago, of the players running out and right when Kid Rock hits there, and Pete just starts dancing like crazy on the side.
I did see that. Yeah.
I didn't mean to capture Pete dancing. It was when I went back and looked at it, and there's Pete like rocking out to it, and that's kind of what I think that's cool. That's what you're kind of speaking to, is just that energy and probably relatability that these guys are bringing. So many of them were players in the program, and just the love they have for SDSU and just that good energy, that good sideline energy for these young players that need some of that stuff. So, yeah, love it. Yes, thank you. Andy Luth asks, forgive me, I don't know their names, but the 2 young middle linebackers, 11 and 5, were impressive with Adam out. And of course, Jim Poppin, the man, says Joe Ullman, Cullen McShane. So again, a lot of good young linebackers in that room right now. It's going to be interesting to see who joins Fransel next year and who's part of that rotation, because we've seen it. They don't mind rotating guys in there either.
Don't mind rotating, and we've seen that people just somebody goes down. I mean, at some point, it's
Yeah.
the nature of the game, and we've seen guys succeed from that, and that goes back to talking about leadership and team culture and all that. I mean, that's why these guys are sticking around. It isn't facilities. It isn't even just to win a natty. It's because of just the way that this team is put together and built. It's impressive.
Again, Mark and Griffin Wilde seemed to have a very good connection again yesterday. I'm glad that's been figured out. Those two are on the same page and look sharp. And then the other young pass catcher, we keep talking about him week after week. Lofton Ogroski comes up with a huge catch, again, sliding catch on the ground, makes some tough contested catches. And I kind of focused in on him run blocking. He is really good. He is really good at run blocking. Like for a young cat.
Excellent.
My assumption was, I mean, he's made these circus plays and clearly can be relied on in the passing game. But my assumption initially was that his blocking is probably what got his red shirt pulled, because we know that was something that the coaching staff was maybe a little frustrated with and that needed to improve from early in the season. And we've talked about is a night and day difference. Now it's still, there's room to improve, but no, he's leading the charge there for sure. He's a pit bull down the field.
And I think he's fairly consistent in the quality of his blocking too. I think he needs to go over and teach our tight ends something about blocking, because they're good at times, but then there's times where they
bulletin board Chad
where they're completely whiffing on their blocks. I mean, nobody's perfect, but it seems like they could use a little bit more aggression in their blocks, and then I don't know. I feel like they can do better. That's what I'm saying. I feel like they can do better. I'm sure they think the same thing. I'm not really necessarily calling them out, but that is a big thing that I think we are still missing from last year's team, is the quality of the tight end blocking.
Yep. So I'd agree. And I think consistency is probably the best word, because there are plays where they do some really good, really nice blocks.
83, now his name's missing.
Yeah, Alpers. Yeah.
Yeah, Darren. Yeah, Alpers. He threw a guy to just canned him. But I think a play or two before he had just whiffed. But you know, it happens.
And they're getting there. It's definitely an improvement from where it was in week 1, week 2, when we were like, oh man, these guys they're definitely not Zach Hines blocking out there.
Yes,
right.
Well, and we got to remember they're young, right?
Exactly.
And wasn't Alpers brought in as a wide receiver to begin with? I mean, no, he wasn't.
No.
Okay, that's what they said on the broadcast, and I thought that was wrong. But I was like, well, what do I know?
He was a walk-on tight end. Yeah,
okay,
basketball player
from Oregon, right?
So, yep.
Yeah, he's tight end there as well.
I'm gonna clip this one, Chad, because it's funny. This last year at our football golf tournament, Chris Myers, a tight ends coach, I told him, I was like, this is gonna be the first season you've had to actually coach. You come in with Tucker Kraft and you come in with Hines. I go, you're gonna actually have to coach this year. He laughed. I mean, we were just
clip that and put it right after mine. Like,
I gave him a hard
these guys
time.
Need to block better. This is the first year you actually had to coach.
Well, he came in with Kraft and Hines. I mean, what a great gig for him. He's a good guy, really good guy, like Chris.
Oh, he's awesome.
He's been fun, but I gave him a hard time this summer.
That's good stuff. He's done a recruiting podcast the last couple of years, a recap. And I could see that he'd find that funny, because he's a funny guy. So cool. Special teams, honestly, in wind like that, it can kind of be wild sometimes. I thought we did a good job of managing that. I thought the kicking game was solid. Coverage was good. I don't know. I thought it was good, because you saw in, I believe, SIU's first punt, that punter just boomed it way too high, and the wind caught it. And you could actually kind of see the ball, it hit that wall of wind and dropped straight down and then bounced backwards 10 yards. So, that's just Hunter knowing how to work that stadium. So good job, the special teams. They didn't have anything too bad at all.
Yeah, hats off to him and the special teams coach, because it did seem like they had a game plan of how to deal with that when kicking into the wind there. So.
Yeah, you looked at some of those field goals too. I mean, they weren't smooth. That's not on Hunter, but that was just the wind. Like that one just dovetailed at the end. I had a buddy that was sitting up in the Stig Center, I guess, up in the balcony. He's like, man, that thing just hooked right away. So yeah, kudos to them to just kind of manage that.
Yep. I think huge shout out to Amar for having himself a game. After having a couple of quiet weeks where maybe Angel was the lead back, Amar was awesome. Just some of the cuts he was making and that goal line, that goal line run where he got stuffed in the backfield, shucked to the defender, and then raced to the pylon. That was incredible strength and then athleticism to burst out of there. So it's nice to see him hit his stride again. Jake, like you talked about, right time of year to start going on the upwards trajectory again. So kudos Amar.
Yeah, his vision all day was better than I've seen. Like you could see from behind. Like I think there was one of those series where he had a long run towards the scoreboard, kind of going to the south end zone, and it was just nothing was there, and just his ability to bounce out to the west and just get there. I mean, it was a pretty smooth run. The way he just kind of saw that, made the cut, and again, 14 carries, 157 yards. I mean, that's a day. Good for him.
Yep. And how about number 11 lead blocking way down the field for him? That's awesome too.
He keeps doing that.
He's awesome.
And I hold my breath. I hold my breath on it. Don't need him getting canned like he did up in Fargo.
That's what makes Mark.
Yeah, I know. It's just I can still hold my breath if I want to on it, Chad.
Yeah. I can't stop you.
Yeah, it's me holding my breath's not going to stop him either. I know that. So yeah, anything else to point out?
The crowd was good. We should probably talk about the attendance record a little bit.
Yeah.
The lines were really long on the south. The southeast entrance has been really bad, and we haven't went there but the one game. We went there for Hobo Day, and we were back by UPD. It was terrible.
Wow. Yeah.
We maybe need to look at opening that other northeast gate if we're going to have big games like that to get people in.
Well, they're all big games now, right?
Well, right. That's kind of what I'm getting at. That was going to be my next comment. Like, if they know there's going to be more than 15,000 people, we need to make them people get in a timely fashion because everybody's showing up towards the beginning of the game. So we should plan accordingly.
Yeah, that would definitely help, pull the people coming from the backyard to that corner of the stadium that sit on the east side versus the people that are just parking over by, the hyper or whatever and walking over. So, yeah, we need to bring up this again. Brendan ranted about it not too long ago. Oops, sorry, Chad.
That's all right. The
super security. What the heck is going on with this? Because this is now 3 home games in a row where this new security company is just kind of out of control. Like making people take off their cowboy boots. Come on.
Tim Hayback had to take his gloves and hat out of his pockets to show him there was nothing else in there.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Like, are we that worried about a little shooter of Fireball, to make everyone take off their stuff? Like, come on. And
he was pointing out that the games are getting colder and more people are going to have those kind of clothing on. We should probably re-educate the people that we're not going into the Excel Center here or something,
Yeah. Like I just don't like, seeing the reports like Brennan, a couple weeks ago, they got harassed for some baby stuff that is listed as an eligible or like a allowable item. There was something on the SDSU Fans Nation Facebook page about car seat. The baby was asleep in the car seat, all bundled up, ready to go. They had a seat just for it. Like they bought the extra space and got told to go back. And earlier in the year, it was no big deal. So let's just be consistent with the rules. And so people know so there's not frustrations right at the gate. And again, it's just weird. Like, where the heck do you have to take off your boots to go into a football game? Anywhere else? That's odd. Like, I don't know. That's just too much. So I don't know. If you're listening to this, anyone in athletics, like, come on, let's get these guys under control because we don't need to be alienating new fans, young fans, before they even get to see the game. Like, come on. So, Yeah. And Randy says it's only at some gates, but it sounds like it's not consistent from week to week which gate it's going to be either.
I think it's maybe 2 individuals
Yeah.
potentially, and they change where they're at.
Yeah. I don't know. Whatever.
I will give my trade secret. I beat him yesterday, and I might have snuck one or two cold refreshments in, but I put them in my wife's pocket, and she's 32 weeks pregnant. They're not going to pat her down.
Yeah.
You know, it's in her coat pockets. It worked great. So
If you have a big enough belly, and you wear bibs, a bush light might fit on either side without anybody being able to tell.
They were going to pat down the pregnant girl. Like I knew they weren't going to do that.
Yeah. Did you send her to the beer lines this week, Jake, or no?
No, I only got away with that once. I'm not going to try that again.
Yeah. I mean, you got a designated driver set up for you. You can have a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as Kyle Harris stays away and doesn't get you in trouble anymore. So, like that.
Yeah, he's the problem.
Yeah.
I think there's others out in that crew that would do the same thing to you. So
yeah. Dallas is frozen again. Oh, Dallas is back again.
He's back.
Dallas.
Some internet issues.
Anything else, guys, about this game?
I'd say one other thing. My last thing, and this was commented by Coach Rogers at the end, is like we're coming into the final game of the season, and we're getting healthier. Like that's a big thing, and that's kudos to our coaches again. Not to call them out the whole day, but Coach Jacobs, the strength coach, definitely doing a great job, I think, with that. Obviously, the Coach Rogers on down. If you're getting healthier this time of year, I mean that's huge. That's a big thing going at. And we've had some issues this season, as we know. I mean, we've had some guys missing some time. So to look at that for him to say like we're getting healthier right now. I think that's something to call out or something to recognize.
Mm-hmm.
It is. A couple things that I had, and I have no idea if you talked about them when I had to restart there. I don't know what's going on with my internet. This is about like the Tyson fight on Friday right now is what my connection is.
Similar, very similar.
Didn't pause on your rear end.
We have a very similar probably amount of people listening too, I bet.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Definitely, just exactly the same. We're going to
that
take
number
down the
in the top left is in thousands.
Yep, millions. All right. So did you guys talk much about Amar's day? Because man, he had a
little bit
hell of a show. Okay, so I was impressed just watching highlights with. It was just such a multifaceted game for him. I mean, he showed vision, he showed power, he showed elusiveness. Like to me, like somebody he said that he wants to play at the next level like that. That's a game he's gonna hopefully they're gonna see that tape. Watching him out there. So that was awesome. And did you cover the fact that we had Vinatieri get passed for third all-time field goals for South Dakota State?
Really?
There we go. Hunter Dustin.
Cool.
Yep. He is. Yep. For third all-time past Adam Vinatieri.
He's only behind.
I guess I should have specified which Vinatieri.
Justin,
but yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'll just say he's only behind Justin Siravatka and then Parker Douglas, who leads it. So
Parker Douglas. Yeah, that was great.
We all remember that. I don't know if these people do, but I'm sure plenty of them do.
That was great.
He was so good.
Yeah, so good.
He's a good guy.
Jake, you should have him on with us sometime. Get him.
Yeah, he's down in Ashland, Nebraska now. Lives down in that area. He comes back around every now and then. I think he was at one of the games earlier this year. But yeah, he'd be great.
Mr. Automatic.
Yeah, that'd be great. Cool.
Yeah, we've been spoiled with some great kickers, haven't we?
Yes, we have.
Yeah.
But Kyle Harris. Hopefully he's listening. No, I love him.
Oh, hey, you know what else we've been spoiled by, Dallas? You probably know this. What we've been spoiled by?
What have we been spoiled by?
Some great food at Cubby's. Will you tell us?
Knew it. Yes. Oh man, I tell you what.
I picked up.
I should have. Well, I just wondered maybe there's something else I didn't know, but I already knew that we're spoiled by Cubbies because it's amazing. But if you're looking for the perfect spot to fuel up before or after a Jackrabbit game or catch the action during a road game, look no further than Cubbies Sports Bar and Grill in downtown Brookings. Ultimate Jackrabbit hangout. They've got an unbeatable lineup of mouthwatering food, refreshing drinks, over 50 TVs. I think it's more than that. It's got to be like 1,000 minimum. And no better place to cheer on the Jacks and with fellow fans. So whether it's game day energy, post-game celebration, Cubby's has you covered. Thank you for sponsoring us, Cubby's Sports Bar and Grill of Brookings.
Boom. Awesome. Good read. Jamal, thank you for this. Congrats to Amar for making top 10 rushers in school history. Excellent. And again, Amar is another one of those guys that could have gone somewhere else and started a couple of years ago.
Yep.
Chose to wait his turn here, having a great year, 10 touchdowns now, I believe. So awesome. And then Mark also, isn't Mark now second or third all-time in yardage?
Yes, second. Yep.
Second.
9,000 bajillion yards. I don't remember the number.
Yeah. 9,000 bajillion. Yep.
Yes.
Taryn has 11,000 bajillion.
10 or and it's considerably impressive that Amar makes that feat, considering how much he's shared the load, you know, in a lot of these years, whereas some of the other guys have not. So,
well, even this year, Chad, back to the post-game presser, Jimmy talking about the fact that, you know, the first 6 games or whatever, Amar carries the load. And then what were we talking about last week? Like, oh man, did Angel surpass Amar? Like, oh man, Angel looks great. And then sure enough, you know, you're just able to come right back to the hot hand, and having that kind of depth coming into the playoffs. And now we're going to add Maxwell Woods, which was teased again this week, you know, for the rest of the season. Like, that is such a luxury to have, that we are going to have. I mean, there's 4 sets of fresh legs that we can put back and we trust. And then hopefully a 5th set when Chase comes back, I hope sometime.
Yeah.
Haven't heard anything. I
haven't heard anything. Nope.
I mean,
might
as well rest him if we don't need him again next week, unless we want to knock some rust off.
Yep. All right.
Jamal says 11 TDs, but who's counting?
My bad. Yeah, haven't looked at the stats, so my bad. All right. For game balls offense, I went with Amar. He just was incredible.
Yeah.
I contemplated Mark, but some of Amar's runs again were great. I was going to give it to the 605 Hogs, but I realized I can't give it to a position group, or Chad gets, you know, that skeptical looking face on his, you know, look on his face. But yeah, I went with Amar. So,
I think we're all in consensus on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I got
Sounds
no
good.
feedback there. 157
Vote
yards.
to cast the white ballot, sir.
All right, there we go. All right,
Awesome.
defensively, I went with Juice, Matthew Durant. So two interceptions. I mean, that's that kind of does it there. Kobe Claiborne, obviously super disruptive, and then Joe Ullman, in my opinion, being able to step in. I already talked about him. That was great. So those are the 3 that I kind of had in my mind. But two interceptions, you gotta get it.
Yeah, I vote for that.
I want to give a little credit on one of those interceptions to number 5-2 for the hack job on the arm. He
Wasn't it Wolfgale Holston?
I'm sorry, 5-5. Yep, sorry,
Yeah,
it was Aaron Wolfgale Holston. He did an excellent job with his swim move. Came around, got that guy's arm. He deserves a little credit for that.
Yep, absolutely. Yep, thank you for bringing.
I guess
up
I
Aaron
just
there.
love 5-2, and I just said that.
I know. Yeah. What did Jimmy say to Kirby about the headstand?
Don't do that again.
It's sweeping the nation now from that started with Incarnate Word. Yep. So that high school team down there in Texas. Right? No, there's a clip. There's a clip where, right? It got compared to starting.
Yep.
Yeah,
They did. They called it out. Yeah. Said it was a high school team on.
Right.
Was it? Might have been College Game Day. I don't remember.
Yeah. All right.
Or
And
McCaffrey,
Dallas,
one of the two.
you were the closest on the score prediction. You weren't, as close as Jake a couple weeks ago. But it was 43-13. So Dallas, that was your prediction, 43-13. Good job.
Yay.
Good work.
Thank you.
So
Tried it.
yeah. All right. Chad,
Yes.
tell us about Northwestern Mutual.
Northwestern Mutual, we've got good news. We raised more money for Alex's Lemonade Stand, and Northwestern Mutual is the corporate sponsor for the FCS competition, FCS Fans Nation Radio. On that, we raised $731 in the backyard / library lot tailgating yesterday. Northwestern Mutual, if you're not aware, is your one-stop shop for all your financial advising. And if you don't have life insurance and you have a family, you need to get some. That's what I'm going to tell you. You need to get some. Go see the guys down there at Chris Schenkel's office in Sioux Falls. Northwestern Mutual will help you out, and they'll get you taken care of from A to Z. So they do the whole thing for you. So go down and see Northwestern Mutual. Thank you for your sponsorship.
There we go. All right. So it's time to get into the Missouri State preview here. And this is an interesting team, right? They lost bigly yesterday to North Dakota State. It was not a good game. And it was kind of who Missouri State, who we thought they were, honestly, like going into this game. If you look at their schedule, it's a soft schedule for sure. But this team is insanely talented still on offense. I'm not going to change that. We know that's a good defense up at North Dakota State. And this offense can put up some points, put up a ton of yards on the ground and through the air, and make it clutch. Their quarterback is having a hell of a season, right? This team is not eligible for the playoffs. They can no longer win the conference title. Is that correct? Maybe they could beat us. I'm not sure. They could probably tie for it. Not sure. But anyways, it's still,
they would be able to tie.
No. Yeah, they'd be able to tie.
Yep.
So anyways, I mean, this is an interesting team. Like, this is a dangerous team. Any impressions? Has anyone gotten to watch any of their games? See them in any cross film or anything like that yet?
No, haven't watched any film. I am very happy, though, that we get to give them a proper send-off from the Missouri Valley and the FCS by playing North Dakota State and South Dakota State back-to-back and kind of put them in their place here a little bit. I hope that's what we're able to do. But like you said, a lot of talent on offense. They've loaded up with skill guys and transfers here for quite a while. I mean, what they've got they still threw for almost 250 yards last week against North Dakota State. I mean, that's no joke. I mean, you gotta be ready coming in, or we're not going to end the season the way that we want.
I think I caught them early in the season when they were playing Montana, right? I think that was the last time. But they've kind of been a little bit of a different team since then. At least Montana has. And so don't really know how well that translates, when you look at the stats line against the Bison and what they did to them. So kind of at will.
Yep. The player that I really like on their team, and he is fun to watch when I've seen him, is the Jacardier Wright, the running back.
Still there.
He's still there. He had that leg injury last year, came back, and looks dang good this year. 800 rushing yards. And then he's also a threat through the air. He has 33 receptions for a running back, 390 yards and 2 touchdowns, 16 touchdowns overall. So he's a good player. Number 9, that's a player to watch, folks. Really a nice looking player there. And then in the receiving game, kind of interesting. Their top players here in the passing game are all homegrown players. And Missouri State under Bobby Petrino was kind of known for all these transfers. They still have a lot of transfers on the roster, but these are 4-year, 3-year guys that they've developed here, which is kind of cool. Like Hunter Wood, wide receiver, 661 receptions, 753 yards, and 3 touchdowns. And then they have a big tight end, Lance Mason, 34 receptions, 590 yards, and 6 touchdowns for him. We've had some issues with tight ends. I mean, if J.J. Galbraith catches that one in that game, that's a totally different game there. So that could be interesting, seeing Lance Mason this week and how we match up with him. If that's someone that Matt Durant's kind of takes, or if that's Francel, whoever it is that kind of works on him. And then Jamari Robinson, a kind of a smaller receiver, 37 receptions, 575 yards, 4 touchdowns. And then their backs. They have a couple of backs. Like I said, Jacardier Wright, Jaden Becks, both a lot of receptions. So tons of talent, tons of skill. And this is a good primer, in my opinion, as we go into the playoffs for some of these, if we would get matched up with Incarnate Word again, or some of these other high-flying offenses that have a lot of skill on the perimeter. So this is a fun one here. Any thoughts on their offense? Any keys to what we've had to do against Missouri State in the past?
I mean, we just got to limit what they can do on the ground, and I think we'll take care of the pass. I'm not a big fan of the over the middle, allowing to be so soft over the middle, but I think we're going to have that just so long as we don't get the yards after carry, because what was that tight end averaging something like 17 yards a catch? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, definitely got to swarm the ball like we have. Somebody pointed out at our game, it was my buddy has only made this game. You might know Robert Fisher, but Fish was there, and he was saying, man, that's what I love about this defense is you get 6 hats on the ball every time, one guy stands them up and then everybody else is there. So almost immediately. And I think we just need to continue to play the defense that we play, and, sub 10 points would be the goal there, as somebody pointed out recently on a coach's show, I think it was. But
yeah, I've heard that a bunch, that kind of 10 points is their standard. I do think that Missouri State puts up more than 10 points this week.
I agree.
To me, we talked after Incarnate Word about they found success in kind of the passing game that's more of an extension of the run game. And what I mean by that is they immediately, Incarnate Word said, pissed on this. There is no way we can run the ball in this team. However, we can get the ball to our athletes out in space at the corners, short passes, a lot of horizontal motion, just getting a few little windows, and then being able to get 5, 6, 7 yards, dink, dink, dink down the field, doing that. And then eventually somebody's going to miss a tackle, or that's the intent. We don't miss many tackles, but this would be a team to me that would be able to do that with the athletes they got, spread them out wide, try to get some angles, and eventually, you are going to have a little success in that. And especially that who's the Robinson, that tiny, he's like 160 pounds or something, super undersized receiver, a lot of wiggle, really quick. He's somebody I could see doing that, maybe out of the slot.
Matt, your mic.
Matt, either you're muted or I'm gone deaf.
No, we had another train come through, so I paused. I muted myself there. So do have to give Jacob Clark his due here. I kind of rushed over him. Phenomenal season, folks. If he played for a more prestigious program, he would probably be in the discussion for the Peyton, honestly. Listen to the stat line. 72% completion percentage, 3,418 yards, 26 touchdowns to just 6 interceptions. And he's added another 240, gross yards on the ground, lost 222 because of sacks and another touchdowns. But so he does have the ability to really move the ball and sling it all over the yard. Just a fun player, good quarterback for them. So yeah, should be fine. Defensively, though, these guys struggle. They've kind of struggled all year. We've known that on their scoring averages, right? They gave up 29 to Montana, 42 to Ball State, 14 to Lindenwood, 24 to UT Martin, 31 to Youngstown. They took care of Illinois State. They only allowed 7 points to Illinois State. Indiana State, they allowed 21. UNI, they allowed 42.
How?
42. Yeah. 31 to Murray State, and then
Also
21. How? Yeah, then 59 to NDSU. So they're struggling defensively.
Yeah, that's the answer.
Yeah.
To how.
Jack meat.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
They do have 2 really good defensive ends who each have 6 sacks. So that is going to be a challenge for the tackles. Number 2, Darian Smith, and 95, Jalen Williams. Both seniors, both multi-year starters, 12 sacks combined. So that's pretty good. Armon Wallace, I don't know if you guys remember that name, 96. Armon Wallace was a starter at defensive tackle for the last few years for them, a really quality player. He's listed as a backup right now, so I'm not 100% sure what's going on with him. And then there's strong safety, PJ Hall. He was a preseason All-MVFC selection, really a high-quality safety on that back end. I just don't know what else is right there. Their leading tackler is Taj Chambers, a will linebacker. But yeah, they play a 4-3. We know Plaster's a fast surface, a lot of speed, I'm guessing. That's what we know right now. So, any other thoughts?
I think we can jump into predictions, maybe.
Let's jump into predictions. Let's jump
Sorry,
into
Dallas was going to say something, though.
I was going to ask if this is a trap game, and then I couldn't decide if I wanted to ask that just because I'm looking at their stats and the points that they put up and starting to feel not nervous, but like there's no coast into the playoffs here.
There's too much focus by this team to be a trap game, right? Like
you're right.
And honest to God, Missouri State's going to want to go out with a bang. Like they're not going to be happy about their loss to NDSU. I like their new head coach, Ryan Beard. We watch some of his videos. He is a fiery guy. I guarantee he's going to have these guys fired up to go out of the FCS, the Missouri Valley, on a high note and head into the FBS with some momentum for next year.
Coach Beard's a pretty good soccer coach too. So sorry.
I love
that. Everybody got that.
That's awesome.
Thank
Good
you.
one, Chad. Jake, what's going on with JFPA, man?
Yeah, so JFPA, again, Jackrabbit Performance Players Association, I think getting geared up for hopefully a few more home games that we can host and have some good attendance and kind of experience there. So definitely come check that out. Again, a great platform for our former players to stay connected to the program and just have that engagement. That's the biggest thing. There's an element of it that's a fundraiser, and that's great, giving money back to the program and the university. But even more important, I think, just having that camaraderie, that platform, that guys that played from whatever era, the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, can come back and they can be connected and get together. So a great organization and definitely appreciate everyone's support.
Done good things with the tailgate too.
Yeah, the tailgate looks great. I was back there for the first time since early in the season on Saturday. And you guys have that spot looking awesome. So, yeah. All right, Dallas, since you were the winner last week, who is your offensive player of the game?
Offensive player of the game. I think we're going to find some success throwing this week. I think we're going to put up a ton of points, and it's going to be in the air. So I'm going with Mark.
Mark again. All right.
Yep.
All right. I'm going next, and I am going with Amar, making his return again to Missouri. They broke off some long runs. NDSU did against these guys, and this might be Amar's week to have a long hitter. So, Chad, you're next.
I mean, those are the two easy choices, and I wanted to choose Mark, so I'm just going to choose Mark, I guess.
Okay.
Then fine. I'll go with Lofton.
I was going to try to pick a receiver.
I'll go with Lofton.
Don't talk him into it, Dallas.
You're going with Lofton. All right. Jake, who are you going with?
I'm going with G-Dub. I think that's what you guys talked about. He's starting to gel a little bit. He's starting to mesh. I'm kind of surprised Chad didn't pick him. But I think that's where we're going to see it this week, the breakout.
All right. Jake,
although what I'm actually rooting for, though, is I want to see a tight end go for like 115-2 or something.
Hey, cool.
That'd be great.
That'd be fun. Jake, defensively, who are you going with?
I've just loved watching Durant's the last couple of weeks. He's just kind of really figuring things out. I mean, he's played well all year, so I think he keeps it up and takes it this year. Durant's or this week. Sorry.
All right, Chad.
I like the T large angle. He's been playing out of his mind since he come back. Dude's all over the place. Hard to believe where that kid started, where he ended up, and how great.
He played well yesterday too.
All right. I am going Reese Kirshenman. Multi-sack game here against these guys. Got to get some pass rush on Jacob Clark. Heat him up a little bit. And Dallas.
I considered Reese. I wanted to go in the D line because nobody had yet. Give me
Kobe.
Somebody's getting home. Yeah, give me. We talked about Kobe enough today. Give me Kobe Claiborne.
All right. And Dallas, score prediction, sir.
Jackrabbits 44, and Missouri State 20.
Okay. That's really close. What I was going to do there. So I will go. I did a 50 burger, and I feel like I jinxed us last week. Oh, gosh. All right, I'm going to go 40. I'm going to go 50. I'll go 50 to 21. 50-21.
This game's going to be entertaining. There's going to be a lot of points scored.
Okay.
Take the over.
Chad.
I was going to go, we double them up, 42-21.
42-21. Okay. And Jake?
I'm going to go with my celebrity picker last week, Darren Amick, going with the same one that I picked. I was going to. So our second perfect week here, we're going to have 38-14. I'm calling
38-14.
Bold
Okay.
prediction.
So did any of us choose that the defense hits their standard, or are we calling them out
The
right
10?
now?
No, we're calling them out.
I'll go
That's a call.
38-10.
I'm calling them out.
Sorry.
This team
38-10.
No, Jake, this is your chance.
38-10.
No.
You're already in on calling them out.
Yep. Did you hear that, players? Jake Steffen's calling you out.
Jake doesn't believe in you.
Former
I said
defensive
38-10.
player wants back on the field.
Blame Darren Amick. It's his fault.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, good. If you're not heading down to Springfield this weekend, be sure to get to one of our Jacker Illustrated Bar Network bars. For me, it might be the Pump. We'll see what it ends up being, or where I'm at. I don't know. So if you can, get to Cubby's or get to one of our other bars. Dallas, you got to still find one in Mankato.
I do.
Spinners would be a great one. The Packer Bar, like I said. So wear your Tucker Craft jersey in, and they'll just love you. So, yeah.
It's a good point.
Anything else? Anything else for the good? Oh yeah. Next week, people loved our show last year. We loved our show last year. So we are bringing back Kevin Marshall to give us a national perspective on the bracket. Super excited to have him of FCS Nation Radio fame. One of the partners on the Alex's Lemonade Stand FCS Challenge with Northwestern Mutual. Really excited to have Kevin on. He provides just tremendous insight and some great one-liners that we may play some Kevin Marshall superlatives with him again this year, just like last year, because that was fun.
Was awesome. I also hope he's broadcasting live from the bunker / panic / cave or whatever he was in
Well, he
last
lives
year.
in Montana, so he might be the Unabomber.
It's very possible. But very knowledgeable, excited for that for sure.
So, yeah, we got time. Whatever.
Okay, go ahead.
So the USD game, Alex keeps telling us we have to cheer for NDSU, and I don't know.
No, why?
I don't think it does. It
Giant
matter? I don't think it
meteor,
matters.
obviously.
Yeah.
Well, I honestly, I would actually agree with that. To me, we got North Dakota State's just got to win and lock up the one, and then I'm a huge Grizz fan this week though, because I know we got in a little bit of an argument, or disagreement discussing this, but to me, Montana State takes out Davis, then you've got recency bias is always a thing with the selection committees. So if Montana beats Montana State, to me, then that just shows some weakness in the Big Sky, and then that allows us a chance to jump back up into the 2 spot.
Yep.
So I'm a big Grizz fan.
Davis almost pulled it off.
They did. They're a very good team. 100%.
If only. I think that shows they're not as maybe impeccable as we might think. Like NDSU, we know how good they are, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think we're back to having. I said there's 3.5 good teams. There could be 3.5. I think obviously the Yotes pushed us to the limit there. Yes, you heard me. 3.5 and a half. And and Davis obviously is a solid team too. I don't know anything about their depth, making a playoff run. We know that's one thing again about the Jackrabbits that I feel so good going into the playoffs. Getting better each and every week, getting a ton of guys some extra reps. We're healthy, and we know that we have more depth than 99 or 100% of the country.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's not to say that an all-star couldn't go down at one of these top programs and completely change their trajectory. So, like you're saying, our depth really, really helps there.
Well, it is. I mean, you don't want anyone to get hurt, but there's, again, I always like to go back just as a reference point to those very good semifinal and quarterfinal teams from the years prior. And there was always the risk that if one key piece goes down, we're screwed. Right. Mm-hmm. For a decade now, if one O-lineman gets hurt, we're in trouble. Now, like if somebody needs a breather, or if somebody's dinged up and can't finish a game, like there isn't a single position where we don't have somebody that can step in and fill in. So
yeah, especially last night watching Montana State. I know Kevin Stone talked about this. Like we're entering the part of the season where Montana State's going to unleash Tommy Mellott in the running game. That dude took some shots again last night.
You mean get him hurt?
Yeah, exactly. Like I Montana State did do that. They did cut him loose in the run game, but dang, like that guy, Hoofta, he's a competitor, and he's his own worst enemy on some of it too. So Hoofta, I don't know. I would not be comfortable if you're counting on Tommy Mellott to be a major part of your rushing offense, because he's just going to get crushed like on some of these hits. And they've had concerns all year about the backup quarterback position, and maybe that's been solved because they've gotten some reps in these blowouts they've been having. But I wouldn't feel super comfortable running him if I were them.
No, and he's lasted longer than I thought. I don't know what I haven't looked at his stats this year. I mean, I know he's putting up.
They've ran him a bit less.
Mm-hmm.
Terrific numbers, and is definitely a front runner for awards. But I'm shocked that he's stayed as healthy as he has. By the sounds of it, I thought he'd be way more dinged up by now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. What else? Anything else for the good of the order? All right. Well, thank you. Thank you to our sponsors again. All of you. Kubota, Dealers of South Dakota, Northwestern Mutual, Cubbies, Jackrabbit Central, Culver's, Blue Tide Car Wash, all of the sponsors on the network. Just thank you for your support. Thank you to our fans, listeners, whatever, who support them. We really appreciate it. And we'll be back next week with Kevin, hopefully talking about another win. So thanks, everyone. With that, go big, go blue, go Jacks.